what's up, Cootie Crew, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about RV life. For those of you following along on the channel, we have been living in this RV that we renovated, so we live in it full-time. This is our house. So it's been about 7 months that we've been in here, which means we're still relatively new to RV life. And a while ago, I asked on my social media accounts for some questions from people about what it was like to start RV life. Today I'm going to be going through those questions, and if by the end of the video there are questions that you might have that I haven't answered yet, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Let's begin. First, I had got a handful of people asking how laundry works. The RV that we got was an older model and also a smaller model, which means we don't have our own washer and dryer in our space. Currently, we live in this RV stationary, which means we have it parked at a park, so we're not around traveling or driving around all the time. And the park that we're currently staying at has a laundromat on site, which means we just have to take all of our laundry to the laundry room and do it there. We've also previously done laundry at a friend's house. Really, it's nothing crazy. We just do laundry like anybody else would, and we just can't do it in our own home. What we do instead is make it a weekly chore, and we have our laundry drawer, which is where we put all of our dirty laundry so it's out of the way, and then it fills up in about a week. We pack up all of our bags full of our laundry along with our detergent and our quarters for the machines and just go do our laundry there. Another question was around our food and how often we had to get groceries, if we had to change how we got groceries, and our pantry space. As I mentioned in some of the previous RV life videos, our kitchen is really small, and that includes the pantry space as well. Plus, RV refrigerators are just smaller than a standard refrigerator, so that's why I'm guessing I got a lot of questions about that, is because people are aware that the fridges are way smaller. Now, we were already in a good routine of going to the grocery store once a week and planning to a T what we were going to need for groceries. So we don't normally keep a big pantry. We plan out pretty much everything we're going to need for the week, which means we don't end up with excess stuff or pantry items that aren't going to be used right away. And overall, we haven't really had to change the groceries that we get, so we do that once a week as well. And we have this thing that we call Friday fridge, which really just means that it is grocery day and the refrigerator is pretty empty. So typically when we go to get groceries, the refrigerator is almost completely empty by that time, and then we fill it to the brim with every grocery trip and then just kind of eat our way through it during the week. But one thing I will say, we've had to change how we meal prep, because again, we're both big planners when it comes to our meals, and previously I would cook everything on Sunday for the entire week, and then my husband as well would have all of his meals set out for a couple days ahead of time. But there isn't really fridge space to have all of those containers in there with food ready to go. So instead now we have to pack up all of our meals each day. So that is something that we changed. And we also have to cook pretty much right away when we do get groceries, because again, we need fridge space, and the groceries that we got take up a ton of room. So we can't actually put any sort of containers in there until we cook and use up some items that we just got. We did reduce the pantry space that we have. I said we don't have much, but before we did have something. And right now we really just have a couple cans and some containers with extra things like spices or baking supplies that we don't use day to day. That's about it in our pantry, except for the alcohol shelf. Some other questions that I received were around how the small space impacts our relationship, or us not having the ability to have our own space in our home, which I totally understand. I've thought this a lot about people who live in a van, because that is even smaller than the place that we currently live, and I can't imagine like sharing that small of a space. I totally understand where that question's coming from. When we first got married, we actually lived in a poorly converted garage, which was really small. So I think we learned a couple years ago already how to share a small space, and really it's not that different than sharing a large space. We just have to plan out more when we're going to be doing things so that we're not in each other's way. The living room is where both of us will do our workouts, but that's also the kitchen space. So we have to communicate, and I have to do my workouts before it's dinner time, or else that living area is gonna get way too cramped and then we just get in each other's way. Plus, we can't both work out at the same time in here because there's literally no room to do that. I wouldn't say we get on each other's nerves more, it's just that we had to learn to plan things out a little bit more. And same when I work on projects, I have to kind of bust it all out at once because I can't leave projects out because, again, we don't really have the room for my stuff to be laying out for a couple days at a time. Another big thing though, in terms of helping to mimic having our own space, is that we have headphones, wireless headphones, and that has helped a lot so that we can both be watching or listening to something separately and have no idea. You know, we don't have like two different shows going on or someone's playing music while someone's trying to watch a video, and that has helped a lot too. Some other questions we got were about sharing the space with our pets. Now, we have 2 people and a bird and a dog all fit into a 27-foot RV. And the reason we can do this is because, one, the bird and the dog get along really well, as in they just kind of ignore each other. So we can have the bird out and it's not an issue, so we don't have to like close off the room to our dog or anything like that. And we've set up a couple places around the house where our bird can perch and go to the bathroom and things. And he gets to come out a lot and has pretty much free reign of the entire house. He honestly loved the move into the RV. I think he just really liked that because he can be involved in whatever's going on pretty much anywhere in the house. Our dog gets either walked or comes to work with me every day, so that helps a lot too. He's a calm dog, so he's not like running around in circles or gets zoomies or anything like that. I just want to get him out and about and moving every day because I'm sure such a small space he would kind of go crazy without it. Plus, we have our yard space all fenced off, so he can hang out there for a while during the day too if it's not too hot out. He has taken a big liking to this really small corner between the bed and the closet. Like, that's his spot. And it's funny because that's like the smallest place in the entire house is this little corner, but that's his spot. Previously he would sleep under tables and things like that, so I think he just likes having a really small like den feel, and that's what he found works for him. The next question, do we have to put things away when we drive around? Yes we do. As I mentioned before, we currently live in a stationary environment, so a lot of our decorations and things like that are set up knowing that we're not really going to be moving too often. So when we do move it, we do have to take things down from the walls and the kitchen counter and move the bird cage and things like that, because all of those things we just leave out now because the house isn't really moving. But if you were to drive it, stuff would go flying. For that, what we do is use the laundry drawer, the shower, the sinks, and the bed, and we just put all of the things that are on the counters or on the shelves into those with like blankets or extra clothes, towels, things like that to keep them from jostling around and moving too much. And then once we are done, we just put everything back. I think I timed myself last time and it took like a half an hour to get everything put away. So it's not a terrible chore, but yes, we do. In terms of downsizing, I got some questions about our wardrobe space and our closet. And this was one of those funny things where I knew we were gonna have to downsize. I just didn't realize how much we were gonna have to downsize. I had a pretty small wardrobe even when we had the full-size closet in our house. I only used up like this much space in hangers, so I thought I would be totally fine. But what I didn't realize is that all of the formal wear, outerwear, workout clothes, cosplay stuff, all of those count as clothes too, and I had to reduce all of my clothes down to like this much space. So you can see my closet here. This is all of my clothes. Bottoms, tops, dresses, formal wear, coats, and then I keep my workout clothes in 1/4 of a drawer, so it's a really small stack. And then my husband and I share this drawer for our workout clothes and things like that. We do share a drawer and the closet space. And while there is a little bit of space left in the closet that I could get more clothes, having a more minimal wardrobe has actually been nice. And there are still plenty of things in there that I don't wear very often. I could probably pare down what I do have in my closet to about half if I needed to, but since I don't, I haven't. I also got a couple questions about where we're parked and if we have a yard and things like that. And we are parked in a stationary park. It's a long-term park, which just means that everybody here is a full-time RVer, so it's not people passing in for just a couple of days. It's a month-to-month rent, and the application process was similar to that of an apartment. We have a small little area around the RV, which we have turned into a yard space. Some chairs, a table, and then a tiny garden, just to make it feel way more homey, and it's really nice to hang out there. One thing I do miss about the house though was the yard, because I absolutely loved having a yard. The final question is, what do I miss the most? And I would definitely, without any hesitation, say that it would be a big kitchen. We cook almost all of our own meals, and having a small kitchen has been frustrating plenty of times. I know I've already talked in like every single video about how much I have to do the dishes. Having more counter space and having a dishwasher, those two things I miss a lot. It did take a while to adjust, but now we're just kind of used to having a really small kitchen space. We basically only have half a sink's worth of actual counter space, and we just have to make it work every time. And that's all of the questions so far. Again, if there are any questions that you have, don't worry, there are no such thing as stupid questions. Go ahead and leave them in the comments. I know I talked about an RV tour like months ago now, but between then we had to fix both the shower and the microwave, so that was kind of put on hold. So hopefully the RV tour is actually coming soon now. If you are an RV life person and you want to share your experience with everybody or answer some of the questions that were asked in this video for your personal experience, please go ahead. We love to hear from everybody else. If this video was informative, helpful, entertaining, any of the above, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can check out all the other videos on my channel, and I will go ahead and link our RV life video playlist down below. And if you want to stay tuned for future videos, please go ahead and subscribe. Love you guys, and I will see you all next week. Bye!